Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, man. So back with another short live stream, giving you some news you can use concerning the heavyweight division. Usually, I don't go live on Saturday mornings, man. But today, uh, both of my boys' basketball games were canceled due to the all the snow that we received last night, man. So kind of a surprise live stream because I never really go live. Shit, I don't remember last time I went live on a Saturday morning. Been over like at least a year. Mark Blake, what's up? Dimitri Collin was good. Jay Jerk, what's up, man? So this March 7th card, man, is turning out to be Night of the Heavyweights. Now, obviously, the main event, I want to see Kownacki take on Brazil, but he would be fighting Robert Helenius nonetheless. That would be the main event. But also on the card, you got Frank Sanchez versus Joey Dueco, and then F.A. Jagba's going to be on the card as well. But right now, they're looking for an opponent for F.A., man. So, and it seems as if I was on Joey Dueco's Instagram, and he has like an official. Uh, I put it in my community section on my channel. If you guys seen it from last night, but it seems the way it looks like that all three of the heavyweight fights will be televised. All right. Um, Hopefully a Jagba can get somebody, man, just somebody that we at least know. I'm thinking like maybe a Arthur Spilka type. I know last time some of you guys probably seen Arthur Spilka. He was getting stretched out by Chisora, but he did go on to win a fight against, I forgot who he beat, man, but he did pick up a KO victory against a journeyman fighter since that Chisora loss. And one thing about Spilka, man, the dude's in shape. I'm not sure how his punch resistance is nowadays, but as far as being in physical condition, he's probably in the best physical condition he's been in his whole career. Dude got like a six pack and everything, but we all know that doesn't necessarily translate into the ring. And like I said, it doesn't help your punch resistance. You know what I mean? But I'm thinking maybe somebody like that, just because he's a name. We've seen him on PBC against Kownacki, against Deontay Wilder. So he is a known fighter as far as his name goes. Um, Thinking somebody like that, maybe a Mario Heredia type, maybe a Bogdan Dinu type, something like that. But hell, man, if it was up to me, obviously it'd be somebody that's way more formidable than those guys. But curious to see who they put in there with FA Jagba. Do you guys think that a Jagba's ready for the Christian Hammers and the Carlos Takams and the um, those type of fighters? Or do you think they need to keep bringing him along slowly? I think they've done a good job with FA, man. The Ali Demarezen fight, for me personally, I didn't think that was going to be some first round KO destruction. I knew that was going to be a tough fight. Ali Demarezen is he was an Olympian himself, knows how to fight, and he has that type of style that give FA problems. He moves his head, use the high guard, and he's constantly, like I said, bobbing and weaving, moving his head, not being a sitting target. And that was a tough fight for FA. Then FA's last fight against Lago Kiladze gave him everything he could handle, right? Knocked him down and everything. You know what I mean? So then I thought the Rodney Hernandez fight was a good test. Rodney Hernandez is a tough journeyman level fighter. And I know it's laughable now thinking about it, but going into that fight, I thought Curtis Harper was going to give FA a tough battle as well. Based on what Curtis did with Areola in their fight that happened in 2015, that was a damn war. But we seen what Curtis did on fight night. He walked out the ring with FA, and that thing went viral in a bad way for Curtis. All right, but I think they're doing a good job with FA as far as bringing him along with the opposition that he's fought. Man, maybe even the Jonathan Rice type. I think Jonathan Rice would be a good match for FA um, if they were to bring him in. You know what I mean? But we will see what they put in there with a Jagba. Let me see who else is in here. Levi Conn, what's good, man? He says joke fight. Helenius is so shot. James Dag says, I'm snowed in Green Bay, Wisconsin too. Salute to you, man. Yeah, I know they get it bad in Green Bay. You guys are the neighbors, man. So the Dakotas and Minnesota and Wisconsin, we get it bad, man. Um, I agree, Levi Conn. I'm not really looking forward to, like I said, if this was the 2011 version of Helenius, then yeah, great. You know what I mean? The 2013 or something like that, great, but not the 2020 version of Robert Helenius, man. And I know Helenius is training hard, and I seen an interview that they conducted with him, and he's saying everything that a fighter should say. He's training hard, he's in the best shape, all that stuff. Then he also went on to say that he knows this is one of his last chances to make an impact. So he knows, Robert's a cool dude, man. He follows me on Instagram. He's a cool dude, you know what I mean? But I just think he's long in the tooth right now. And I think just this pressure style is going to cause him problems, especially if he's not able to establish a jab in his right hand on Kownacki. And based off what I seen, Helenius, I always forget this dude's last name, but the guy's first name is Yuri and his last name starts with a B. But he had two fights with that dude recently, not too long ago. And to be honest with you, man, both fights could win either way. I'm not even being funny. And what was that guy doing? Pressuring Helenius, getting Helenius against the ropes in both fights. You know what I mean? So, shit, man, just based off that, then I seen Helenius stop against Gerald. Gerald Washington was able to stop him here in Minnesota. Um, I'm gonna lean towards Kownacki in this one. I think he's gonna attack the body, and I think he'll tire Helenius out. And I think he'll get him out there mid rounds. So we'll see if Robert will prove me wrong, man. But I'm definitely going with Kownacki in this one. Stormy B, man, what's good, bro? Hey, Stormy, I usually don't go live in the mornings on Saturdays, man, but they end up canceling both my boys' games, man. So they in there sad as hell, so I might be able to might take them to the gym because the gym is still open. LA Fitness is still open, so I might take them up there to burn off that energy, man, because they were looking forward to their game today. But yeah, man, scrapbook boxing was good. I'm gonna talk about the Sanchez and Dweco in a minute here, man. See what y'all talking about. Levi Conn says is Jololoff the best heavyweight prospect in recent years. He could unify the division someday. Is he the best in recent years? I think he's one of the better ones right now. I definitely will give him that. But shit, I'm not sure he's better than Herkovic or Joyce or a Jagba or um, all the other guys. I can keep going on and on with these guys, man. But the best way to determine that, in my opinion, bro, is for them to all get in the ring. Now, if we're just using the eye test and based on what we see, then I can't tell you you're wrong. You know what I mean? But I want to see all these dudes get up in there. But to me, he's looks no better than Herkovic. You know what I mean? Or Daniel Dubois or anything like that, in my opinion. Let me see what else is in here. Renee Box Young, what's good? I mean, Lawrence up in here. I thought somebody said what's up to Lawrence. Oh, he is in here. L Dub, what's good, Lawrence Williams? Punch quote says, Wilder Fury fight 2 times. PBC is holding Kownacki over for Wilder, so he won't fight anyone till 2021. Why we didn't get that Brazil fight? Well, that's a good question because Brazil was calling for the Kownacki fight in November. So that's one thing. I haven't heard Kownacki talk about it. Um, but his team better not say that, Dom was trying to get a fight late. You know what I mean? Because he was definitely trying to get that fight in November. Because I went back to Dominic's Instagram, man. I was like, man, I wonder when he was calling for the fight. And I looked it up and he was calling for it in November. Like, I believe early November, if I can remember correctly. So um, that's a good question, man. Obviously, I think they're trying to go with a showcase fight. In my opinion, bro, I think they're trying to go with a showcase fight for Adam. Put him on national TV on a heavyweight card. It's gonna be Night of the Heavyweights. He has a following out there in New York with the Polish fans, so it'll be a raucous crowd out there in Brooklyn for him. Showcase fight, make him look good, make a big tall guy go timber. That's pretty much what I think they're doing, man. Because obviously nobody was calling for this fight. Levi Conn says, Mr. Boxing, you the man. I'm from Rochester, Minnesota. Go Vikings. Rep the Twin Cities forever. Oh, that's what's up, man. I know you're from from Minnesota. Rochester. Yo, Rochester. I don't know how they're doing now, man, but I know in them 90s and in them early 2000s, man, their junior college football team, pretty damn good junior college team. Sent a lot of players Division One. Harold Jones was good, man. Out there in the ATL was good, Harold. GG, what's up, man? James Dag says F.A. Jagba versus Lucas Brown would be a good fight. Yeah, bro. I think they're talking about now that you brought him up, Lucas Brown and Price. Have y'all heard about that? They're talking about Lucas Brown and David Price as a possibility. Lawrence Williams says Helenius has KO'd 3 former champs, Layman Brewster, Sergey Lakovic, and Sam Pierre. One short of Tua short of Tua for a guy that never won a world title. Some boxing trivia for you. Yep. Probably how many dudes did Galata KO? that were champ. But you know, man, I thought Galata got robbed against who was that he could have beat for a world title, man? Bird. I thought he could have won that strap from Bird, man. And there was another one that I thought he could have won. I can't think right now, man. Was it Ruiz? Nah, was it John Ruiz? I can't remember right now, but I know she should have got the decision over Bird, though, man. Yo, Bird's title run was, and I respect to Chris Bird. You know what I mean? Crafty, good counter puncher. Chris Bird was the man. You know what I mean? But his title reign, he had some tough outings in his title reign, man. He had some tough outings, bro. Like some debatable decisions. Now, credit to him, man, because I don't care how many debatable decisions you have. You got to be doing something to be able to hold a title for 4 years and make some successful defenses. But the Galata fight, the fight with Jamil McCline, and there was another debatable one that he had, man. Yes, Levi, I remember when Chris Bird did that, bro, and that fight was on ESPN when he dropped down and he had, and then Chris Bird has always came across as like a little pudgy, not fat, but a little pudgy, a little soft as far as his physique. When he dropped down, I think he fought George. Who did he fight? What was the dude's name? Sean George or something? He fought the dude. He had like a 6 pack. He looked. Chris Bird was ripped, ripped. Yes, Lawrence Williams. Yes, Lawrence. The Devero Williamson fight was horrible as well. But bro, Bird was ripped. Y'all remember that fight on ESPN? It was on Friday Night Fights. He was ripped. I mean, he went in there and had no legs, and that's what I was saying earlier. If you guys just joined me, I was talking about Spilka. Sometimes your physique, you can go from a guy that never had a cut up for physique, and then you get this physique all of a sudden. Well, shit, y'all see me now, but y'all get this physique all of a sudden, and then you know what I mean? That doesn't translate into you having good punch resistance, and that's what a lot of these dudes do sometimes, man. They drop down in weight to get these muscular physiques, and then they don't have the punch resistance to go with it. You know what I mean? I'm actually sitting here watching some Frank Sanchez, man. Watching Frank Sanchez, looking at some old Joey Dweco fights, and Sanchez gonna have it's gonna be tough for him, man. He is 6'4", 225 pounds, but at the same time, though, man, he drops his height and he's susceptible to getting hit with left hooks. Now he is a sparring partner, the key sparring partner with Luis Ortiz, and he also trains with him too. He's not just a sparring partner, but he trains with him a lot too. Um, I like what I see though. Good right hand, uh, a plethora of amateur fights. Um, I like what I see, but this is a huge step up for him. At least Joey Dweco, he's been in there with the Sergey Kuzmins and the Brian Jennings and the when Amir Mansour has something left, that version of Amir Mansour. Um, some debatable decisions in there, some close fights in there. Joey had a plethora of amateur fights at the national level. Was I think a 14-time national amateur champion, something like that, man. So um, it's gonna be tough for Sanchez, man. This gonna be a tricky fight, man. Because Sanchez sometimes look like he will take the counter puncher uh, role, and we know that Joey, even though he's a shorter fighter with a short reach, he can box on the outside. Joey Dweco can actually box on the outside. His height and reach will give you the mindset that somebody's going to come forward and rumble, but he can actually stay on the outside a little bit and peck away. He can fight behind the left shoulder. You know what I mean? He can give you that vision of a tall fighter. You know what I mean? So but Sanchez has the reach advantage. I expect him to use his jab, use his reach, and when he counters, he likes to counters with like twos and threes and fours. He likes to punch in bunches at times, so he loves to counter like that. Um, it's gonna be an interesting fight, man. That's gonna be an interesting fight right there. Let me see what y'all talking about. Nah, Raji was good, man. Yeah, Lauren. Okay, yeah, it was Georgia stopped Chris Bird. I remember that, man, and I was actually excited. I'm like, man, Chris Bird didn't drop weight. He about to dominate. And that man went in there, got his ass whooped. He just didn't have the legs, man. The dude legs was just shot. Levi Conn says Lucas Brown is the most shot boxer since 2017 version of James Toney. Brown is cooked, man. And Lucas is another one that's always on Instagram training. He's always training. Look like he's lost some weight a little bit, but just it's just that punch resistance, man. Once that goes, you can look like a damn Instagram model. You know what I mean? As far as your physique, look like, I mean, you can be a model for wearing suits or wearing tank tops, whatever it is. But if that punch resistance is going, man, it's just you just a sitting duck. Levi Conn said Joyce Dubois next in London. I hope so. The talk I seen something on Boxer Scene that Joyce may take a before that fight is to occur, may take a little stay busy fight. I hate even saying stay busy, but a fight in between. And I'm sure it won't be against nobody viable. You know what I mean? Yes, not Raji. Physiques do not win fights. Arthur Max says, smash that like button, fellas. I appreciate if y'all do that. James Dag says, official AJ was good, bro. Adewale M up in this thing. James Dag says, who is Dominic Brazil going to fight next? Luis Ortiz, maybe? That'd be a good one. You know what I mean? That's what I like to say, man. A lot of these guys like to say guys are running from them. They don't want that smoke. They don't want this. They don't that. But at the same time, you got to also look at who's calling you out and who wants to smoke with you. You know what I mean? So I think that'd be a good fight. Both guys are coming off KO losses to the hands of Deontay Wilder. So I wouldn't mind seeing Luis Ortiz versus Dominic Brazil. You know what I mean? I would definitely go with Luis Ortiz in that one though. AJ says, my man Fischer AJ says, I wonder if the Kownacki fight and the Washington fight winners got a fight. Um, man, I will hope that man, I hope that I are yeah, because the Washington and Martin fight is supposedly supposed to be an IBF eliminator, and I know that Kownacki is rated highly in the IBF. Man, I will hope that the IBF would not make Robert Helenius Kownacki some type of fucking eliminator. That would be ridiculous, man. And at this stage, because last time I looked, man, Washington and Martin are ninth and 11th by the IBF. You know what I mean? So, um, I will hope this isn't that wouldn't be for a segue to that fight, man. Now, again, if Helenius is to beat Kownacki, usually the guy that beats you takes over whatever position that you had, right? He gets the next big fight or whatever. But nah, man, there's more guys in there that are more worthy of this fight. AJ Caballero, who's rated by the IBF. Um, Philippe Hergovic is rated highly by the IBF. There's a few other guys. I went over yesterday, man. There's a few other guys. You guys pull up the IBF rankings and you can see the guys in their top 15. So, if anything, showcase him in this fight against Helenius, then have him fight an IBF eliminator. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness. For real, AJ, you said you sent me an article. You said I sent you an article, said it was on the eliminator. The Kownacki. Oh my God. They're making Helenius Kownacki eliminate. Bro, I have to look at that article you sent me. I must have missed that, bro. Wow. Man, these rankings make no sense, man. At all. Ronald Finkley up in here? Somebody said what's up to Ronald Finkley. Let me see if Ronald Finkley up in here. I don't see Ronald Finkley, but if he is up in here, what's up to him, man? Chris Howarth was good. The Wonderful Life of Bob J was good. He said, I thought Sanchez was a cruiser. Well, he's a heavyweight right now. He's competing in heavyweight, man. I think his best win, Sanchez' best win is probably the Jason Bergman fight. Southpaw. Been in there with some of everybody. You know what I mean? I think Jason Bergman's probably his best win. Yeah, official age. I don't think he's rated by anybody. Not right now. Not the 2020 version of Helenius. And then if it is like, man, Helenius is a lucky man, dude. If this is true, bro, the article you sent me, that dude's a lucky man because he was just in another eliminator a few years ago. Was it the Dillian White fight? And how can you be in another eliminator when you've done nothing to get into an eliminator? And again, man, nothing against Robert Helenius, man, but this doesn't make any sense, man. If this is true, like they're just handing out, they're just handing out eliminators, man. The dude was just in the eliminator, like a couple years ago against White, and he lost. Has done nothing of significance. Lost his next big fight was the Jared Washington fight, and has wins just against journeyman. So how in the hell would, man, make it make sense, y'all? Make it make sense. Eric Jenkins was good, man. Matthew Valentine, what's happening? Um, wow, for real? Okay, I gotta look at the rank. I haven't looked at him in a while. Well, actually, I looked at him yesterday, but I didn't notice Helenius. Helenius is number 6 in the WBA. Lawrence Williams is saying that Helenius is number 6 in the WBA, y'all. I don't have him right in front of me, but man, these rankings make no fucking sense. But man, we've Brooklyn Child Boxing was good, bro. We've been talking about this for a while, how these rankings make no sense. I think the worst are the WBO rankings. Well, the WBA, they had like a few months ago, they had like BJ Flores up in there, and Fred Kendo and Guillermo Jones and all that type of shit. But the WBO seems to just rank prospects, man. They're like the prospect rankings. And then at the top, they'll have like a Tyson Fury or Dillian White or something like that. But man, they love throwing the Junior Fives in there, and the Tom Schwartz and the Cairo Toro Fujimotos and all that type of stuff, man. The WBO has to be the worst. Official AJ says Washington dropped Martin hard in sparring years ago. I seen the footage. Hey, y'all, official AJ is somebody. I know you guys see him around, but he is somebody that's privy to. He is somebody that's privy to sparring sessions with Gerald Washington and John Pullman, the Pullman Gym. You know what I mean? So he is somebody that's privy to a lot of information. He was one of the. He actually let me know that Washington was going to get the Wilder fight before anybody knew. You know what I mean? I can say that now because it's years has passed now. But and I actually changed my thumbnail, AJ, from my last video talking about the Washington and Martin fight possibility. If you guys go to that video, I actually changed the thumbnail and put up a picture of. It's a picture of Jonathan Rice, Martin, Washington, Sugar Hill, and John Pullman at the Pullman's gym. So these guys, and that was the day that Rice, Martin, and Washington obviously all got sparring with each other. So I'm not sure if it was that from that sparring that you're talking about, bro, but that picture was up from June of 2017. So they know each other. You know what I mean? And if that information is true, what you're telling us, they know each other, and I definitely want to see that fight. So hopefully that fight does get. They saying it's close. It's very good possibility. So hopefully it go ahead and get done. Yep, Ronald Finkley is up in here. What's good, Ronald? Macadon one up in this thing. What's good, man? Fisher AJ says Jagba versus Brazil. We've seen Brazil shock prospects before. Yo, if Brazil's willing to take that type of fight, because it seems like, well, maybe Brazil's on some like if he does fight, he wants somebody that's looked at as a top contender and not a top prospect trying to be a contender. So maybe he wants the Kownakis and those type of fights right now. But shit, man, if he was able to take on Israel Gono and you're coming off a knockout loss, I wouldn't see why F.A. Jagba wouldn't be the type of fight that Brazil would take. And it seems like Brazil would take that type of fight. You know what I mean? But it just depends on where his mindset is. Because sometimes these guys, once they get a little bit older and their name is out there a little bit more, they want bigger type of fights with guys that are, uh, close to title shots themselves. So I can understand why he would want a Kownacki. And it's the style matchup, right? You don't have to go looking for Adams; gonna come right to you, and that's what Brazil wants. Um, but Brazil versus a Jagba, that'll be a slugfest, man. That'll be a slugfest. If Kazaki can put some heat on them, Brazil can bring a much harder punch than Kalazi was able to do. but Kownacki has better legs than Dominic Brazil, better lateral movement than Dominic Brazil, and has quicker hands. But Brazil, again, I got to see where that punch resistance is at. You know what I mean? Now Brazil's a guy that's known to have a pretty decent chin. He, blocks a lot of punches with his face sometimes. But after a one punch destruction like that, man, you want to see where this guy is at now. You know what I mean? We've seen guys like Manny Pacquiao and great fighters of the past, Marlon Starlin, so many other guys come back from devastating knockout defeats and come back and be very successful, or just come back and still be formidable. You know what I mean? So I guess we'll see. All right, y'all. Getting some phone calls in here, man. My man D Style up in here. Uh, he says, what my man D Style say? He said this dude Helenius always losing his fights. Yeah, bro. And Lawrence Williams said that it's a tight. This could be a elimination fight. I have to look that up. I'm getting text message now. I have to look that up, man. But that's the case, man. Like this dude just getting awarded elimination fights if this is true, because he was just in an elimination WBC fight with White a couple years ago. Like I've said, he's done nothing of significance, and he lost the one big fight he did have against Gerald Washington here in Minnesota. He lost that fight, so it's like, uh, how the hell is he getting an elimination fight? And James Daggs is confirming what Lawrence Williams just said about him being rated number 6 right now by the WBA. Shouts out to Helenius, man. Shouts out to his team. That's one thing I can really say, y'all. Shouts out to Helenius and his team, man. Great job. A great job with your client. That's all I can say, man. Couple super chats up in here. My man Eric Jenkins, I appreciate that $5 holla. He says, Mr. Boxing, y'all appreciate the fact you're keeping the heavyweights in the light. Hey, man, I've been trying to do it here on YouTube for shit going on 11 years now, man. So I'm going to continue, God willing. You know what I mean? Ronald Fink with that $2 holla. He says 50-50 fights in heavyweight B level. And I love watching them, bro. I love watching these type of fights. Some people, oh, it's a shit fight. Now, I like watching these type of little scraps, man. They're needed. You know what I mean? We're not going to get Wilder Fury every single time, right? We're not going to get, the super mega big fights every weekend. You know what I mean? So it's good to see these little, as I call it, under the radar type of fights. My man BFTB up in this thing. What's good, bro? I got a lot of more. Got a lot of more. Man, you be cracking me up with that, man. It took me a while. I was like, I heard that before. When you were saying it, I'm like, I said, oh, Clubber Lang off Rocky. But shout out to my man BFTB though, man. You guys go subscribe to BFTB. Go subscribe to Lawrence Williams. You know what I mean? Go subscribe to D Style. Go subscribe to Stormy B Man. Go subscribe to my man Brooklyn Child Boxing. And most of you that are in here, I know you already subscribed to them, but if you're not or you forgot, go ahead and subscribe to them brothers, man. Good, very good content. Count Drago says the Frankie Sanchez versus Joey Dweco fight is interesting. Dweco stopped an undefeated prospect before the Jennings fight. It is a very entertaining fight, and I broke that down in this live stream. Hey y'all, Sefer Safiri's up in here, y'all. Now, but Sefer Safiri says, by the way, where's Carlos Takam? Maybe he's waiting for Cabello in his hibernating. Well, the last I heard of Carlos, bro, him and Jarrell Miller were going back and forth just recently on Instagram. Jarrell had posted a picture up a couple days ago of him and Carlos at some type of function standing side by side. And Jarrell was saying that Takam looks like lunch, right? So Takam actually hit him back and said, hey, man, I'll be your first fight back. I think that's a very good first fight back for Jarrell being out the ring, since he fucked over himself last year with felling for 17 different steroids or whatever it was. You know what I mean? I think Takam is a good comeback type of fight for him. You know what I mean? So I would like to see that as a comeback fight. Eric Jenkins, I appreciate that $2 holla, man. He says classic fight, Witherspoon versus Tony Tubbs. A lot of good classic fights in them in that era, man. Gregory Wyatt up in this thing. He says, greetings, brothers and sisters. Troll Hunter on deck. Sefer Safiri says, Jonathan Rice versus Dempsey McKean is official. Don't know if you noticed. Okay, I'm gonna talk about that one in the next one. That's gonna be a good one, man. McKean's a southpaw from Australia, undefeated, and Jonathan Rice is tough, man. And I was just talking about Jonathan Rice in this video. Tough. McKean's gonna have his hands full, man. I made shit, man. That's a fight Jonathan Rice can win. That's yo. That's gonna be a tough one for McKean. That's definitely a big step up for him, man. Lawrence Williams says, "What do you think about Victor Bisbal versus Devin Vargas tonight? Battle of 2004 Olympians." It's funny you bring up Bisbal, man, because I was just watching a fight with him and Sanchez just now. Um, Bisbal, man, depends what type of shape he's in, bro. I may go with Vargas, man. It just depends what type of shape Bisbal's in. If when you watch him, just like when Lennox was commentating, he was saying you can see the skill set there, the slipping, the counter punching ability, some of the combinations that he was throwing. You can see it there. You can see it's instilled in him, but just the conditioning. You know what I mean? So I may roll with Vargas in this one, man. Although Vargas, I'm not quite sure with the punch resistance, but mm, I may go with Vargas in this one, man. My man JMJ 2121, what's good, bro? He says, what do you think about you talking about FA? I agree. Sefer Safir was Sefer Safiri says Sefer Safiri. But he says Rice versus McKean is in Australia, so let's be real. Rice gonna need a KO. No chance he wins on scorecards. Even Pacquiao failed. Yeah, I know Pacquiao went out there and fought Horn, but you know what? I thought Horn won that fight. I did a post fight for that. People were pissed off. You don't know boxing. I thought Jeff Horn won that fight against Pacquiao. But anyways, I mean, possible. It's pop, but man, yo, Jonathan Rice is just a tough customer, man. And I know just being tough doesn't win you fights, but that dude's tough. And I always said, man, if Jonathan Rice can get like, uh, I'm not sure what he does outside of boxing, but if boxing was the only thing he did and he didn't have a job and all that, and he can get a good camp and prepare for an opponent and not being brought in as the opponent, he could be a probably a damn good heavyweight, man. So shit, I don't know, bro. I think I could see him beating McKean, man. But McKean has a good left hand. He's just like I said, he's a southpaw. He has a good left hand. Michael Smiley up in here was good. Was there another super chat? Let me see. Punch quote. Uh, Bob. Man, y'all be coming in here with some crazy ass screen names, man. Bob Arum says the heavyweight is popping right now. Yes, it is. It is popping as far as popularity is concerned, but to me, bro, it's always been popping to me. That's why I've been talking about it when nobody was talking. I just love heavyweight boxing. To me, it's like it's the heavyweights and then it's everything else. You know what I mean? But Mr. Boxing, the welterweights are more skilled. But Mr. Boxing, the featherweights, they move more fast. I mean, yeah, but to me, it's heavyweights, and it's always been like that for me, man. That's why I'm such a big fan of the division. And when I came to YouTube, my main sole focus was on just talking about the heavyweights. Like I remember buying the Ring magazine and Boxing Digest and KO magazine and all the magazines in the late '80s and '90s, man. And I would just rush to see what they talking about the heavyweights. Or there's an article on Alex Stewart, I'm ripping that out, putting it on my wall. Or it's an article on Riddick Bowe, I'm ripping it out, putting it on my wall. Oh, they talked about the Tony Tucker and Lennox Lewis fight, I'm ripping that out, putting it on my wall. You know what I mean? So I've just always been a big heavyweight fan, and my three favorite fighters are heavyweights. My top 10 favorite fighters are all heavyweights. That's why I have my personal favorite fighters, and then I say my non-heavyweight favorites. And you guys know Tommy Hitman Hearns is my favorite non-heavyweight. James Dagg says Simon Keene versus Daniel Martz in Canada. I like Keene by knockout. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Keene over Daniel Marks by KO. Although Marks was giving Charles Martin a little bit of work though, man. I know we get down on Daniel Marks for getting sparked out in a lot of his fights, but or his losses rather. Um, but he still has his win over Alex Santos. You know what I mean? You can't take that away from him. And he did give Charles Martin some rounds. You know what I mean? BFTB says mine too, Hearns all day. Yeah, Tommy Hearns, man. And watching Hearns was like biting your nails watching Tommy, man, because you didn't know if Tommy was going to deliver the big right hand or he'll get caught and do the stanky leg. But I used to love Tommy Hearns, man. But that dude used to have you on the edge of your seat, man. Still pissed off about the Iran Barkley fights. You know what I mean? I wanted to see him beat, especially that second time around. Damn, I thought he could have got him, man. But I remember the Virgil Hill fight like yesterday. And then obviously his classic fights with Hagler and Ray Leonard. The second Ray Leonard fight, man, they robbed Tommy. Um, that was just a robbery. And I know Ray Leonard was coming on late. It damn near another one where you're biting your nails watching because it looked like Ray was going to stop him again. You know what I mean? But man, the Hitman, you know what I mean? And let's not forget about probably the Hitman's most famous fight, right? Against Mad Dog. Y'all remember the fight against Mad Dog, against Martin? You know what I mean? He whooped Mad Dog's ass, man, for the what title they fight for? The ICB. I forgot what title it was, man, on Martin. The UCB title. That was a classic episode of Martin, man. Classic episode. he, he and Martin with the uppercut. They were like, no. Martin ass was made a end in the wall. Yo, that was a classic episode of Martin, man. Yes, the Hearns versus Kitchen fight. I remember that. Stormy B, man. That was a good fight as well. He will always leave you where you just didn't know, where you think Terry Norris was like that too, man. Terry Norris was like that too. You watch him, it was like you just didn't know. You just didn't know, man. Like the Norris versus Waters fight, like you just didn't know exactly what was going to happen. You know what I mean? But hey, y'all, I'm literally laying down. Just woke up, man, to text messages saying they're gonna cancel all the basketball games today, man. So my sons had no games, had boxing on the mind. I actually fall asleep to boxing, y'all. My wife being here, like, man, you tripping? But now, hey, yo, I'm about to get up, man. About to get some lunch, man. Let me see it. One more super chat. Let me acknowledge that person, man. Just show me appreciation. Time to ante up. I appreciate that $5. Holly says salute to Mr. Boxer Day in the chat. Hashtag LDBC. My introduction to boxing as a child was through the heavyweights, Tyson versus Johnson specifically. That's what's up, man. But I appreciate all of y'all showing up, man, even the ones that came late. Um, y'all enjoy the fights tonight, man. I'll be back tomorrow with another one. Y'all be good. I'm gone.